Hey everyone, it's Justin with J&M Properties, and today we're going to be going over one of my favorite subjects, and that's first-time home buyers. Please forgive if I talk a little fast. I love talking about first-time home buyers because it's exciting. This is going to be one of the biggest purchases you're making up to this point in your life. The thrill of just looking at all the homes, trying to find your first home to start a family, or you being an individual, it all depends, going through the process, helping you through every step of the way. I just absolutely love it. Most people we work with are first-time buyers, and I really want to go over a lot that generally you might not think about, that it really sets a good foundation, and I'm going to try and do this in a really short amount of time. Not trying to do this for 20 minutes. So I'll be talking about the mistakes, creating a checklist, what kind of time frame to expect, trying to find your realtor, trying to find a lender. So let's get into this. I want to start off with probably the one thing that you should always start off with, and that is trying to avoid mistakes, or at least talk about some of the most common mistakes people make. And the first one is looking at homes or buying a home more than what you can afford, because yes, it might be close to what your mortgage was, but you also don't take into account some of the extra costs that come with it. The utility bills could possibly go up because you might be getting more of a home. Generally, when you are looking at something similar to what you're paying for rent, you're getting something a little bit bigger because it's going to cost you less because you're not paying someone else's mortgage. So you got to take a look at the utility costs. You also have to take a look at maybe if you want to do some renovations, that can add up quite a bit. Now, when you're buying a home, ideally, they say you should have, or even when you own a home in general in life, I guess you could say, if you want to take it back that far, you should have about 6 months of savings put back aside for just in case. This next one it's a fun one because I've seen it happen before and it almost ruined a deal multiple times, and that is purchasing big ticket items. Do not finance anything. Do not max out your credit cards when you're trying to buy a house. Don't do anything, and I will say this, stupid when you're trying to buy a house. You have no one to blame but yourself. We say this a lot. Do not finance anything at all. Don't do it. Just wait until you buy your house. Don't buy a car. Don't buy furniture. You're not even in your house. Just wait. That's all I got to say. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, this is something that may be brought up, may not, and that is your homeowner's insurance, or the insurance when you're buying your house. A lot of people just stick with the company that they're with. Just because you've been with them for 10 years, not necessarily mean they're the best for you or they're going to have the best rates. You should shop around when it comes to insurance. I was with USAA for roughly 15 years and I left them last year because what they were offering and what I was paying, it wasn't worth it. So shop around when it comes to insurance. Now, this is another one that I've seen that we have to advise on. Generally, also the lenders will advise this, especially if you don't have enough money for it, is accepting gift money and not having any documentation for it or having a paper trail, because then it's going to bring to question whether or not you could afford the home, and it could bring other questions that you just don't want to try and answer if you don't actually have the documentation to prove where the money came from. Also, there are some loans that they do accept gift loans as long as there is a paper trail, but there's also loans that will not allow you to accept gifts. They have to show that you can afford the house on your own. So take that into account. If you do not have enough money when you're trying to find a home, your lender will definitely be able to advise you on that. One of the more common things that we come across is someone will say we want to pay off our credit card debt, or we want to pay off this loan, or we want to pay something down so when we're buying a home it'll look better, and that's not necessarily the case. Talk to a lender. This is where we come back to the pre-approval process, talking to a lender. You don't necessarily have to pay off all your credit cards. Also, you're depleting your savings. So when you talk to a lender, he will advise you on what you should pay down, if you should pay anything down. Now, if they're maxed out, yeah, you kind of want to pay down them just a little bit. But other than that, a lender will definitely be able to advise you on something like that. So don't pay off your credit card yet, or hold off paying that off until you speak to someone that's more qualified than yourself Googling something. The next three I'm about to go over are interchangeable to an extent, and it all depends on how comfortable you are with your credit, if you already know your realtor, and it's really going to be going over your time frame. I like to start off with a lender, or you should start off with a lender, because it gives you a general idea. Now, trying to buy a house, when it comes down to the time frame, it's going to be roughly, it could take you just one day looking at homes, it could take you 2 months looking at homes, or it could take you 6 months where you have to fix your credit before you even get into the closing process. So that's why I say you should start off with a lender first, because it gives you a general idea on if there is anything, any kind of flags, anything you have to pay off in order for you to get a home loan, and then you want to work your way from there. because then the time frame, then next part is going to be the closing. Once you find the home, you go through negotiations, then you have the closing, which takes roughly 30 to 45 days to close on your home. That will also then give you the idea on when you really want to start looking for a home, because a lot of people want to actually close on their house when their lease is about to be up because they don't want to break their lease. And finding a realtor, if you know someone, there's about, I think, 1,500 of us in the Shreveport-Bossier area. So generally you'll know someone, or you'll see this video and you're like, I want to use that guy, which I'm for that. All right, so now you have found the realtor, you have found your lender, you have your time frame. It's time to start looking for a home. This is my favorite part because it's exciting, because you're taking your clients out to homes, and it's just seeing them find the house that they absolutely love, and this is a big part in their life, a big step. It's very rewarding. That's why I became a realtor. It's exciting for me, and I absolutely love every bit of it. So you find the home you like, and now it's time to put an offer on the house that you're interested in. So you write up the offer, you go over to the contractor or the realtor, and you send it off. And they have whatever time frame you choose. Generally for us, it's 24 hours to respond back, whether they accept, they reject, or if they're going to counter the offer. And then from there, and let's just to sum this up, if they accept it, you move on to the next step. And that's going to actually be the 10-day inspection period, which starts the next day after an accepted contract. During this period for the inspections, you can do whatever inspections. The main ones we do, we'll have a home inspector that'll go through the house and find any deficiencies that are in it. And we'll have a termite guy come out, or woman, depends, termite person come out, and they will inspect the house for termite damage, whether there is active termite damage, or if there was, or if they do not found anything. And you can have whoever else you want to come out there, whether it be a roofer, you can have a foundation guy, you can have a yard guy, an arborist, whatever you want to come out that will help you buy this house. During this 10-day period, you're able to do that. And the point of this is, at the end of the 10 days, you will write up a response to the inspection on items that were deficiencies that you would like the sellers to fix. So you'll send it off, and they'll have 3 days to say whether or not they're going to either do that, or if they're going to give money where you can actually have someone else do the repairs themselves, or if they're just not going to do anything. It all depends, and that's really part of the negotiations, is that part. So now, let's just say they agreed to have everything fixed, everybody's happy. This is where then the long waiting period starts. This is where working up into closing, you'll be doing the repairs, or the seller will be having the repairs that will be getting taken care of. The title company and the lender, they're going to be doing their thing, making sure everything's clear to close, working up to the closing. Now, this is the last part really for it, is 1 to 5 days before closing. Generally, we'll talk to our clients and say, hey, this is going to be a walkthrough. We're going to make sure that everything was done the way we wanted it done. We're going to ask for the receipts. We're going to make sure that everything was done properly. There's a paper trail for it, and we'll walk through the house, making sure all the repairs have been done. And then you get to closing. So that's the hurrah, this is where everybody high fives, and this is the fun part. You get to the table and you bought a house. Congratulations. All right, so I hope you were able to keep up with everything I was saying. I do talk fast, especially when I'm excited, and this is something that I get a lot of excitement for, because I absolutely love first-time home buyers, because taking them through the whole process is just, it's fun for me, and it's enjoyable. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you learned something. If not, please shoot me a message, and I can address it. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all next week. One last thing, if you're still listening to this video, I will actually be doing a series on all the process that has to actually do with buying a house. So this is going to be the first one. I'm going to be talking to a home inspector. I'm going to talk to a lender, and I'm possibly going to talk to a title company, just to kind of give you a general idea of what to be expecting when you work with each one, and different things that they will be asking for, so you're more prepared.